Life can be unpredictable. Sometimes, the people we trust the most are the ones who hurt us in ways we never imagined. I never thought I'd be the one posting here, but after everything that happened, I feel like I need to share my story. I, 60M, was married to my wife, 58F, for 35 years. We built a life together, raised 2 wonderful kids, and went through all the ups and downs a marriage brings. I truly believed we had a strong bond. But all of that changed in a single evening. For as long as I can remember, my routine has been the same. Every evening, I go to the park with my old friends, chat about life, play some chess, and just enjoy whatever time we have left. It was a simple pleasure, something I never thought would lead to the worst moment of my life. That evening, I returned home a little earlier than usual because my friend had to leave. When I walked into the house, something felt off. The living room was dimly lit, and I heard faint noises coming from our bedroom. At first, I thought my wife had left the TV on, but as I got closer, I realized the sounds were different. My heart sank. My hands shook as I pushed the bedroom door open. And there she was, my wife of 35 years, wrapped around a much younger man, both of them completely unaware of my presence. It took them a second to notice me, but when they did, the look on my wife's face was one I'll never forget. It wasn't guilt. It wasn't shame. It was sheer panic. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I didn't even react the way you'd expect someone in my position to. I just stood there, feeling like my entire world had shattered in an instant. The man, clearly in his late 20s or early 30s, scrambled to grab his clothes while my wife stuttered, trying to come up with an excuse, but what excuse could possibly justify this? I left the room, walked to the kitchen, poured myself a drink, and sat at the dining table. My wife rushed after me, crying, begging me to let her explain. But there was nothing left to explain. I had seen enough. After what felt like an eternity, I simply told her, "We're done." The next few weeks were a blur. I filed for divorce immediately. Our kids, both in their 30s, took my side without hesitation. They were furious with their mother for throwing away everything we had built for a fling. She tried reaching out to them, but they wanted nothing to do with her. My son even told her, "You didn't just betray Dad. You betrayed our entire family." This led to a massive rift in our extended family. My wife's sister tried defending her, saying she just made a mistake and deserved another chance, but my kids shut that down quickly. My daughter, who had always looked up to her mother, was devastated. She said she could never respect her again. At a family gathering a few months later, tensions boiled over. My wife showed up uninvited, desperate to see our children and grandchildren. What followed was a shouting match between her and my son, who told her in front of everyone that she was no longer welcome in our lives. Other relatives tried to calm things down, but it was no use. My wife left in tears, and from that point forward, she became completely isolated from the family. She had no one. The man she was cheating with disappeared the moment he realized the extent of the damage. She tried to fight for some assets in the divorce, but since I had clear proof of infidelity, she ended up with almost nothing. I kept the house, the savings, and even our dog. As for her, she had nowhere to go. Her friends distanced themselves, probably embarrassed or ashamed of what she had done. With no support system, she ended up in a small rental, struggling to get by. The last I heard, she eventually moved into a senior living home, alone and miserable. She still tries to reach out to me from time to time, sending letters apologizing, begging for forgiveness, telling me she made a terrible mistake. But it's too late. I spent my entire life loving her, being faithful, and building a future together, only for her to throw it away for a fleeting moment of pleasure. I won't lie. Some nights I do feel bad for her. She's old, lonely, and has nothing left. But then I remind myself she made her choices. And now she has to live with them. Looking back, I never imagined my life would turn out this way. I thought I would grow old with my wife, sharing the same memories, watching our grandchildren play, and enjoying the peaceful years ahead. Instead, I found myself rebuilding a new life from the wreckage she left behind. But in a way, I think it was a blessing in disguise. I no longer have to live with someone who didn't value me. I have my children, my friends, and most importantly, my peace of mind. Life has moved on, and so have I. If there's one lesson I've learned from this, it's that betrayal comes with a cost. My wife thought she could have a moment of thrill and still keep everything she had. She was wrong. She lost her family, her stability, and the future we were supposed to share. As for me, I may have lost a marriage, but I gained a new perspective. And that's something I wouldn't trade for anything.